Good morning, everyone. Early start again this morning. Do love these Chinese events. So today we've got the Scottish battle, John Higgins versus Stephen Maguire for a place in the International Championship final. So they've just started already. No score other than Higgins has got 6 points. We're in the first frame. I think Maguire's just had a lash at something and has spread the reds all around the table. So Higgins is currently in play. And he's just getting the rest out. The white is to the right of the blue spot, playing with the rest, tempting a red into the right hand top pocket. But it looks pretty close. He's having a good look at it. Coming round. I think he's still unsure as to whether or not he can actually get to this red or not. So he's sticking his little extension on the back of his cue, teeing up the rest, and now he's going to try and slot this one in. Black is available into the same pocket. So Higgins back in. Nicely on the black, reds everywhere. Fantastic chance now to possibly take this first frame. No reason why a man of Higgins' skills can't win the frame from this visit. Powers in red into the top right hand pocket, leaves himself nicely on the black. Higgins looks to be playing a little bit quicker this morning. I think he can see the clearance in his head and he's just executing it. Pops the black in the right hand top pocket, screws back off the side cushion. Nicely in the middle of the table by the pink. Choice of at least 3 reds. Just walking around the table. He's 35 points to 0 in front. Gets his little screw-in extension out again. He looks to be stretching across on the right hand table. On the right hand side of the table to get this next red. Not much to do with the cue ball here though, just roll it in for the black, which is what he's done, and perfectly on it. for Higgins and Maguire, as we know, practice together in Scotland in some sort of unit with the other Scots player, McGill. So Maguire was talking about bragging rights yesterday for the winner of this match, so I'm sure that's going to give them some extra motivation, as well as all the thousands of pounds they're going to win by getting to the final, which will be against Wu Yiza, who beat Zhao Xingtong yesterday, 9 frames to 6, and he's got to be the favourite for this tournament, I think now. He's beaten all the top guys, he's playing some great snooker, not showing any nerves, so whoever wins this match is going to have to really raise their game, I think, to have a chance in the final. Meanwhile, Higgins playing a straightforward red into the left-hand top pocket, stunning the white for the pink into the opposite top pocket. Again, plenty of reds to play for here. He's 50 points to 0 up, so looks like an inevitable first frame victory for Higgins. Nicely played there, just stunning into another red to leave himself on choice of 3 reds. Not hanging about here, as I said. Looks like a pretty straightforward table. Just rolls in the red into the top left, leaving him nicely on the black into the opposite top pocket. Stuns that in, little soft screw, back up for the next red into the same pocket. Strakes that in, on and off the right hand side cushion, perfectly for the black. So 65 to 0 in front, 5 reds left, so 67 on, so this is frame ball already for Higgins. As he strikes that in, leaves himself on the next red into the centre bag, so just needs to make sure of this, and that will give him the first frame of the day. And there it goes, nicely on the blue. So 4 reds left, all on the right hand side cushion. Higgins pops the blue and tries to screw into them to disturb something. Didn't really get much of a cannon, but what he has got is a probable double into the left hand middle pocket, which he attempts and misses. But it doesn't matter, I don't think Maguire is going to come back. So first frame to John Higgins. So the referee racking the balls up now. Higgins and Maguire haven't played an awful lot in recent years. Just looking back at the stats on snooker.org. And it looks like their last competitive match was back in 2019, incredibly. You think these guys have been around so long, they would have played loads of times, but the last match, professional match, was the Northern Ireland Open 4th round. And Higgins beat Maguire 4-3. And previously to that, in the same year, Maguire beat Higgins 8-6. So it's, when they have played, it's been close, but not played for 6 years. So it's going to feel a bit weird, as well as them obviously practicing together. So it'll be an intriguing matchup to see who comes through this one. Referee still finishing racking the balls up. Higgins 1-0 up. Higgins ranked. What's Higgins ranking now? He's still in the top 10, I think, in the world. He's still ranked number 8. Maguire down at 25, which is not bad, but Maguire's a much better player than that. He should be much higher. Anyway, here we go. Higgins breaking off down the right hand side of the table. Looks like a pretty perfect break off. Only one red has popped out, which Maguire can get to, so it looks like a dump shot coming up, white on the top rail, unless he decides to take it on. And he's tried to stroke it in, but he's missed it, but it's gone safe. So most of the red's still in a pack below the pink, with just one red popped out on that right hand side cushion. Higgins looks like he's going for another double here. Into the left hand middle pocket. Has he got it? Oh, he's got it. Well, nicely picked out there. No risk with that shot, playing a double on a red at the back of the pack, but he's played it beautifully and finished nicely on the black into the left hand top pocket. So, just a little screw shot. Just for another red, this time in the middle pocket, left hand middle pocket. It's quite tricky, this one, following through for the blue. Oh, and he's hit it with some pace and managed to get the white all the way back up to the blue, so he's nicely positioned here for either to try and break the reds up or play on that loose red. I think he's going to go for a split on the bunch, and he's just caught the edge of them, but that's actually not worked too bad. The white's come off the edge of the pack onto the side cushion, moved the red off the right hand side cushion and left it nicely on in the left hand middle pocket. So a nice bit of good fortune there for Higgins. So that previous shot's also brought out a couple more reds, so it's turning into a good opportunity. So nicely on the black now, into the left hand top pocket. That's a red below the black he can play for, or potentially a red at the bottom of the bunch. Yeah, just rolls it in for that red below the black into the right hand top pocket. Nice straightforward shot, just to leave the black into the opposite left bag, and now he's got an angle. So he's on a low black into the left hand top pocket. Might elect to try and split a few more up here, although there's a loose red at the bottom which can often make a mess of things, so he's decided to play on that instead. So interesting there, he's elected just to play straight on this red, whereas maybe a Ronnie or a Judd would leave themselves low on it to disturb a few more reds out, but still a good position. So now he's back on the black, probably not quite as low as he'd like to be, but he's got a nice straightforward positional shot onto another red into the right hand top pocket. all has choice of reds in the left-hand pocket, so let's see what he does with this one. Yeah, just a straightforward stun shot to leave himself nicely on that red above the black. Higgins, looking like Higgins at the moment. Total confidence, total concentration. Knows exactly what he's doing. Approaches the shot, every shot the same way. So he strikes in that red. Lead goes to 39 points. Now the black might try and disturb a few here or play on the loose ones. Yeah, he's gone into the back of the pack and he's, well, I'm not sure he's on anything. Nothing really came out of the bunch and he's right next to a red that has come out, but I don't think he can pot it. He might be able, he's kind of straight on it. It's not straight into the right hand bolt pocket, but he might be able to have a crack at it. So he's a couple of inches away from this red. There's a little tricky dink down the end of the table. And he's jawed it. So finally we get to see Maguire come to the table. Now Maguire is such a great guy to watch. You don't have to think about or guess what he's thinking because it's always written all over his face. So Maguire's that easy red that Higgins has left over the pocket, and well, he's not played that very well. He's potted the red, but the white's finished on the bulk line in between the green and the brown, which are both on their spots. So he's not really left himself anything other than a roll up behind the brown. Little shake of the head from Maguire, and he just rolls up behind the brown. But Higgins will be surprised that Maguire didn't make more from that. So Higgins playing off two cushions to try and rest on a red at the bottom of the pack. Oh, I can't believe that. I can't believe Higgins has missed that shot. Very unusual for him to misjudge a snooker escape. But I think he was trying to play on the edge of a red near the pink, and that's small margins really, even for a former world champ. So he's actually, looks like he might have left Maguire in. Maguire's just having to play a trace aside on a red in the middle of the bunch. And he's got it. Right, so Maguire's in now. Choice of pink or black. 3 or 4 open reds. He's 40 points behind. So needs to try and get back in this frame somehow. Slots the pink in. And leaves himself choice of reds into the left hand top pocket. So just rolls the red in into the left hand top pocket. Adds pink or black again. Probably playing the pink again, I would think. And of course he doesn't, he plays the black, so just playing on and off the top cushion. The red into the same pocket. He strikes in nicely. Maguire also not hanging about in this match. He's nicely on the next red. Let's quickly update the score on the stream. So Higgins is 1-0 in front at the beginning of this semi-final. So Maguire slots in the black. Right, goes up to 28. Rolls in a red from the bottom of the pack into the left-hand top pocket. Opens up another couple of reds, and this now is a frame-winning chance. Nothing difficult left on the table. 4 reds left. He slots in the black. So I think on a normal day, Maguire would be mopping these up with his eyes closed, but it is the semi-final. He's not really played in yet, as it's early doors still. So he'll be looking to focus on this clearance to give himself a bit of confidence for the next frames. But he's made a mess of that. He's potted the red, tried to play a can on the pink, and the pink has gone nowhere and left himself no shot. So that is a surprising error from Maguire. He's teeing himself up for this green off its spot into the bolt pocket, white on the pink spot. Oh no, he's decided to play safe. That's surprising. I thought maybe a Ronnie would have taken that on without thinking about it. But Maguire making some sort of gesture on the right hand side of the table. Not quite sure what that was. A little wry smile from Higgins, so I'm not entirely sure what that was about. But anyway, so Higgins is 9 points in front, 51 points on the table. This frame now back in the balance. So Higgins has attempted a long red, which he's missed. White comes back up towards the bolt line, and he's left Maguire a straightish red down the right hand side of the table, which he's straight down for. Oh, and he's just hit that too straight, missed it. But the red's gone reasonably safe. It's not really left anything else. Maguire looking a bit shaky in these early exchanges, I think. Doesn't look like he settled down. He said yesterday he was going to be a bit nervous for this match, and that definitely appears to be the case. So Higgins at the table. Is he going to try yet another double, or is he going to try and play safe? No, so this time just pushes a red slightly closer to the left hand side cushion and leaves Maguire glued to the top cushion. So Maguire looks like he's going to have a pop at this red in the middle. It's pretty much a shot to nothing. Oh, and he's just caught the near jaw. Desperately close that shot was. So he left the white near the pink in the middle of the table, but he hasn't left anything on other than a possible double into the right hand middle pocket. Not sure if John's going to attempt this. He does, and he gets it. So Higgins back in. Looks like it's going to be the blue followed by a relatively straightforward red over the middle bag that's on the sort of bulk side of the left hand middle pocket. But he's also got another red above the brown which goes into the left hand bolt pocket, so he's got a choice after this one, as long as he makes the blue, which he does. So now has a choice of either of those reds now. Higgins looking the much better of the two. Looks much more settled than Maguire. So Higgins pretty straight on this. Right into the left-hand vault pocket. She powers in. Nicely on the yellow off the spot. Playing up for that red that's close to the left-hand middle pocket. Which he puts in nicely. So, Higgins now 18 in front. Probably play... Maybe just dink this in for the blue. Although he needs to be careful here because the green's on the side cushion, so he might want to take a higher value colour. Well, still plays on the blue, so he's 19 in front, blue's 24, yellow's 26, so he won't need that green. Let's glue to the right hand rail. Slots in the blue and finishes on the yellow. I suspect he's not going to play any sort of position from here. Goes for that little screw-in butt extension yet again. Oh, he's got a double screw-in extension. So he's got two butt extensions that screw into each other that he's now screwing into the queue. I'm sure I've seen that before. So he's now got a queue that's about 9 foot long. But anyway, just this yellow to leave Maguire needing sneakers, which he slots in. Maguire looking nonplussed as he sat in his seat. Now, Higgins, what's he going to do with this green? Needs to play safe. Somehow, because I expect Maguire's going to come back. He only needs one snooker, and, well, that's pretty close. Pretty close to a snooker. I think Maguire can get through to it. So he's just down near the top end, having to apply a bit of slide around the pink to get to the green. So he strikes the green, green hits the bolt cushion, white nicely on the bolt cushion, so green's gone back up into the top half of the table, so no easy pot for Higgins. Higgins probably play some sort of safety here, no need for any risks. He wants to keep Maguire cold and finish off this second frame, so Maguire still needing snooker. Green's gone safe on the left hand side cushion, white's on the top cushion. Maguire trying to figure out how he's going to get a snooker. So he's powered the green around the table, white's heading towards the bolt cushion, but the green has come back over this left hand top pocket, so looks like a straightforward, albeit long pot for Higgins. And if he gets this, then frame 2 will be secured. But he's missed it. That's slightly surprising. So Maguire will come back. He's down straight away. He's obviously seen some sort of snooker opportunity immediately. Again, powers the green round the table. This time trying to get the white behind the black, and he's played a fabulous shot there. So the white's behind the black, black on its spot. Green is on the left hand side of the table, just towards the bulk end. But it looks like a straightforward one cushion escape. But these are missable. And as expected, Higgins hits it full ball. Played it at a fairly pedestrian pace, making sure nothing untoward happened. Maguire getting the rest out. Trying to play another snooker, this time behind the brown. Brown on its spot. Hasn't got the white right behind the brown, but he has got a snooker. So the green's finished above the black. Black's still on its spot. Blue is snookering See, no, you can just about get through to it. So Higgins has potted the green by hitting it into the face of the black, and he's essentially fluked it into the left-hand top pocket. So that puts him in a commanding 29-point lead with only 22 left. And he slots the brown in off the spot, so that's the end of this frame. Higgins now taking a 2-frame to 0 lead early on in this semi-final in Wuhan. So Higgins has wandered out while the referee racks the balls up. Maguire sat in his chair holding his cue like a shotgun. Doesn't look particularly happy with his performance so far, but it's still early days. First to 9 gets you to the final against Wu User, and this is a pretty lucrative tournament, this one, for the players. Plenty of prize money at stake. So the loser of this match will pick up £33,000. The winner will pick up at least £75,000 and possibly £175,000 if they can defeat the form player of this week, Wu User. Again, not a huge number of people in the crowd again. People that are there seem to spend most of their time looking at their phones, but I guess that's just the culture over there. So Higgins back in the arena. Referee sets up the reds as we wait for the start of frame 3 in this semi-final in China. So let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to know about this match, or indeed anything else you want to know about this channel. So this channel is intended for people that can't get to a screen but still want to listen to the snooker, whether that be in the car or at home. So if you want to follow the snooker and follow it shot by shot, but you've got other things to do rather than sit in front of the TV, then tune into this channel and I'll try and describe the action for you. So just waiting now for the third frame to start. Maguire comes to the table, giving someone in the crowd a bit of a stare. And now off we go again for frame number 3. Maguire breaking off down the right hand side of the table. He does. Breaks looks good. One red popped out just below the blue, so Higgins hasn't got a safety down the left hand side, so he might be tempted to take this one on. Looks a fairly low risk pot if he misses. Just having a look to see what he'd leave if he misses this red. So here we go. White, a couple of inches from the bolt cushion, red between the blue and the pink spots. Oh, and it's in. Did not cleanly, but it's in, and he's finished maybe slightly too low on the black this time. So it's a great pot. Just seeing the replay here. Struck it nicely. Red struggled in off the far jaw, and now he's got a cut back black into the left hand top pocket. Slightly lower than he'd like, but if he takes this on with a bit of pace, it might push a few more reds out. So he's got to take it on, I think. So here we go. I didn't play it with that much pace. He's potted the black, but he's the white's caddened the red and potted the red in the middle. So that's a bit of bad luck for Higgins. So can't really legislate for that. I mean, he could have played the black a bit more positively and tried to shit a few more reds rather than playing it with a bit of top to nudge a red. But anyway, so Maguire's back in, has a red at the bottom of the pack. So he's on the black, but there's nothing else available. So unless he powers into the bunch, there's not going to be much left after this black. So he's cannoned in that black, but he didn't have much of an angle. And although it came on and off the top cushion, he's not really made much of a dent in the bunch. So the only thing he's got is possibly a red into the right hand middle pocket, and possibly a red up the end, but I think it looks like the red into the right hand middle is the choice here. It looks good, and he's got it. Okay, nicely played. So now he's back in properly now. So he's on a low black. Red's still tightly bunched. There's a couple of reds that have popped out, so you could elect to play on either of those, or you could try and free some more reds from this low black. So maybe he might be better off just playing for the loose reds for the time being, just to get his iron a bit. But no, tries to go into the pack again. White hits the bunch and screws out of it just enough to leave him on this red into the right hand centre pocket. So he's still going, just bridging over the black just to get to this red in the right hand centre, which he rolls in nicely and then leaves himself on choice of bolt colours. So Maguire 24 points to 1 in front in this frame. Higgins 2 frames to 0 in front. Maguire, you feel this is quite an important visit for him really, because he's had chances and not done anything with them in the first 2 frames. So he really needs to do a bit better in this one to give himself a bit of confidence. We know that Maguire's a confidence player, and as soon as he loses his confidence, it's game over, which has probably held him back over the years in terms of winning more tournaments. But anyway, he negotiated that yellow nicely on a red at the top end, on and off the top cushion for the black into the left hand top pocket. So nice low black here. Lovely little stun shot from a red into the opposite top pocket. So this is a really good chance for Steve. He's looking a bit more like he's concentrating a bit harder now. This looks like a relatively straightforward opportunity now. Rolls in that red, again nicely on the black. Although he's gone through a little bit too far than I would like, but probably not a problem for Maguire. He's got a good angle. to get into the remaining reds, which are still in a bunch but sort of loosely bunched. So I suspect as long as he doesn't hit sort of the looser red at the bottom of that bunch, he'll get a good split here, but there's always a bit of a risk involved here. So anyway, Maguire playing the black into the pocket, pops the black, and well, he might have a red into the left-hand bolt pocket, but that's not gone particularly well. Could have been left a much easier chance than this. So he's having a look for something else, but it doesn't look like there's anything else available. So is he going to play safe, or is he going to attempt this red? Yeah, it looks like he's going to play safe. Probably the sensible play. Although he's still hesitating a bit. Needs to be careful here. Needs to play a good safety. So white goes back up. Gets within an inch or two of the bolt rail. All the reds open, so anybody's frame still. And he's left Higgins what looks to be a shot to nothing on a red in the bunch just below the pink spot. So he's teeing himself up for this one. But he's not got it. Maybe elected for safety rather than the pot, and he's another good shot. White back in bulk. Again, a few inches off the bolt cushion behind the yellow spot. Maguire's got a chance of a pot maybe into this right hand top pocket. It's a tough pot. It's at least 10 or 11 feet of table between the white and the red. So looks like he's going to take it on. Tries to stroke it in. Oh, and he just jaws it again. Now, the white's finished behind the black, back on its spot. And the red is on the top cushion, sort of midway between the black and the right hand top pocket. So it is a chance. Higgins has just got to float this in. Which he does, and he's nicely on the black. So a chance for Higgins, another counter from Higgins. I think this could be an important visit. I think if Higgins can steal this frame from Maguire, we might see Maguire's head start to drop. So Higgins plays the black. He's himself choice of reds. Red over the middle, or a red in the middle of the bunch, just around the pink spot. So he's going to play the red in the bunch, which he gets, but the white hasn't come out, so he's got a pink into the right hand bolt pocket, but that's not a gimme. The white's reasonably close to it, but it's nowhere off straight. Probably maybe a 3/4 ball pot. He's got to be very careful with this one. So a bit of pressure on this. If he takes this on, because he's going to leave Maguire a straightforward chance. If he misses. So Higgins gets down to this one. white goes towards the bolt pocket, and he's got it. He's screwed to the left hand side of the table, and he's not on anything easy. It's a good pot on the pink to keep the break bowing, but he's left himself, well, I don't know, he's got possibly a red into the left hand centre, or possibly a red into the right hand top pocket, but it's a bit of angle on this, so it's not straightforward and slightly hampered with a red that's next to the cue ball, so this could go wrong. But he nails it in at pace. White comes back across the table towards that red on the left hand side cushion. So he's got a choice of a very high black from the left hand side cushion, or possibly the blue. That's quite a thin cut. Looks like he's taking the blue on. Again, pressure on this. Oh, but Higgins just eats up pressure. Slots it into the middle bag. White comes down the table, and he's finished on a red across the table into the left hand middle pocket. So pop this and just roll it through for the black of its spot, which he's got, and nicely back across the table, in fact, to the black into the left hand top pocket. So Maguire still got a 19-point lead, but Higgins has got a good chance to come back into this frame. There's 4 reds left. Higgins playing this black off the spot into the left hand top pocket, coming off 2 cushions, trying to get near this red below the pink, and he's cannoned it, but he's cannoned it towards the right hand side cushion, so he's not really on anything easy. The white's below the pink on its spot. You can only see 2 reds. One of them is, well, they're both towards that right hand side cushion, so he's either got a very optimistic cut into the left hand centre bag, or a similarly optimistic cut in the right hand top pocket. So he's going for the middle one, I think. Oh, such a difficult shot. Oh, and somehow he's made it. So Higgins has got himself out of jail there. It's such an incredibly difficult shot to play on these tables. I mean, there's literally nothing to see of the pocket. But he stroked it in, and he's left himself a pretty high black, playing the white sort of level from the pink, which he slots in. And now he's 4 points behind with 3 reds left, so there's still 51 points available. He's 2 reds in the open, which are relatively straightforward, and 1 red towards the left hand side cushion, which might be a bit more challenging. Higgins getting the rest out with his screwing in his extension in for the 10,000th time in this match. So just dropping in that red into the top right hand pocket and finishing nicely on the black into the left hand top pocket. So now he's going to either play on the easier red in bulk, or play a slightly more difficult shot to get on the red on the left hand side cushion. So I suspect he'll play on the one in bulk here, so he's quite close to the black, so you can probably power it on and off the cushion to get back up the table. Which he does, off top and side cushion, back round for the red into the left hand centre pocket from between the blue and the bulk colours. Finished a little bit short, but still should be relatively straightforward. He's just noticed something on the cue ball. So referee stepping in to give it a bit of a scrub before he attempts his red. So Higgins now playing this red into the left-hand centre pocket. She negotiates nicely. Off 3 cushions behind the bolt colours, coming back up the table. And finishing nicely on choice of brown or green. So looks like he's taking on the brown. Oh no, it's the yellow. And he's played a beautiful shot there. That red on the left hand side cushion was quite close to the cushion, but Higgins has managed to get the white in between the red and the cushion to leave it into this right hand middle pocket. So Higgins 7 points in front. If he can slot this in, the rest of the colours are on the spot, so it's going to be looking like 3-0. Oh, he's a little bit undecided about how he's going to play it. He can either roll it in or stun it in. Hasn't quite worked out which way he's going to do it. So deciding to hit down on the white to try and stun it in. Slightly more difficult this way. But he's got it. And now he's finished nicely on choice of bolt colours. So this surely is going to be 3-0 to Maguire. Yellow goes in. And back up again. So Higgins is 10 points in front. So just needs to mop up these bolt colours off the spots to leave Maguire needing a snooker. Green goes in. Nice angle on the brown to get back up for the blue. And in it goes. So Higgins 19 in front with 18 on. Bit of a sigh from Maguire. He's not really produced in this match so far. It doesn't look particularly comfortable out there playing his mate. Higgins on the other hand seems to be much more in the zone as he slots in the pink, and that is the end of this frame. So Higgins takes a 3-0 lead. So I think the headlines from this match so far are that Maguire is not particularly settled. He's had chances and not really made much of them, and Higgins has done what Higgins does, which is which is to pot the balls presented to him. So I think Maguire is going to have to start doing something in this match. This is the last frame before mid-sesh. So I'll be looking to maybe get one frame on the board before the players go off for a cup of tea or iron brew, maybe in this case. So referee just replacing the pink on its spot. Giving it maximum attention, making sure it's millimetre perfect. And now I think we're nearly ready to go. So the last frame of the session then. Higgins breaks off. Gets the white back into bulk. Maguire playing the figure of 8 safety off the left hand side of the pack. And plays a good one. Moves the reds out. Moves some reds out away from the bunch. And leaves John a few inches from the bulk cushion. So it looks like there's a path back to bulk from a red on the left hand side of the table. Which he plays and negotiates nicely. White coming back near that left hand bulk pocket. Maguire's got a straightforward safety, I think, off the left hand side of the table, which he takes on, and that looks pretty good. The white heads towards the yellow, and I think he's just rolled in behind it, so looks like Higgins is completely snookered on all the reds. So this is a good chance for, well, not a good chance, but it's a problem for Higgins to solve. So he's coming off 2 cushions to try and clip a red and come back into bulk, and he's missed that by a whisker, so I suspect that will go back. So referee's replaced the white. Now he's going to have another attempt at that. Little glancing escape, which he hits nicely, but the white's hit the blue, and he's left the chance of a red into this right hand top pocket, but it's not easy. Bridging over the bulk colours. So Maguire's had a pop at it, try to screw back into safety. He's missed the red, and the reds come back up and well, so the white's in the D and the red is near the right hand side of the table, near the right hand middle pocket. So it's a chance for Higgins, although he's going to have to do some wizardry with the white to be able to get on a colour. Oh, he's missed the red in the middle. Incredible. So he obviously had one eye on position there and has missed it. I look slightly irritated by that. So the white's gone back behind the bolt line. And there's a red near this left-hand top pocket, which is not easy, but it's worth taking on if the black goes into that right-hand top pocket. So Maguire then winding himself up for this long red. Oh, he slots it in, and he just about stays on the black, or might have the pink in the centre. Good pot though. Bit of pressure on it, so maybe that's going to be the pot that's going to give him a boost to try and get back into this match. He's 3-0 down already. Oh, Higgins has played okay, but Maguire's not really featured that much. So Maguire pops the pink into the right hand centre pocket and comes back just about far enough for a red above the black into the right hand top pocket. Which he makes nicely, and now he's in prime position. So let's see if Maguire can not necessarily get on fire, but maybe start smouldering slightly. See if he can get back in this game. You feel like he needs to get a frame on the board soon. So black off the spot. Played for, oh, well. So there was a red that was near the top cushion, near that top pocket, and there didn't appear to be an awful lot of room for the black to go past it. And sure enough, Maguire's caught the red with the black as he's trying to pot it and missed. So Higgins is back in, but he's not necessarily on anything easy unless this is a plant into the bolt pocket. Well, this is incredibly fortunate if this goes. So there are two reds just above the black that might be a plant into the left hand bolt pocket. So he's taking it on. He's played it quite a slow pace. Is he going to make it? Oh, and it drops. But is he on the black? Quite fortunate there. That was the only thing that was really on. Oh, that somehow, I mean, that hit the jaw some way away from the actual fall of the pocket, but I guess on these tables they're so new and the cloths are so slick that they just end up somehow dropping. Anyway, Higgins looks like he's on this black over the pocket, right hand top pocket, which Maguire left, so he'll be slotting this in. She does. Tries to nudge the reds. White lost the white a little bit. It's gone back up the table past the blue spot. And it's, well, unclear what he's got here really. Might have a mid-range red into this right hand top pocket. He's having a good look to see what's available. So the screw-in extension comes out yet again, and this time just playing a safety shot off the left-hand side of the table. Which he navigates nicely. The blue is, so the bolt colours are on the spots, but the blue is now next to the brown in the D, making things slightly awkward in terms of break building. Maguire plays safe, again figure of 8, safety back onto the bolt cushion, which he played nicely. So this looks slightly awkward for Higgins. Not entirely sure there's an easy route back up the left hand side of the table, but he looks like he's going to take on a red. A long pot on a red into this right hand top pocket. He's going to just roll it in. Oh no, he's played the dump shot, so he couldn't see it. So the white now on the top cushion, which means Maguire's got control of this safety exchange, so he can put the white back in bulk. Which he duly does. Played a good one there, in fact. That's not, although it looks like Higgins is going to play a similar shot to the previous one. Just try and play off a red on the right hand side cushion and leave the white on the top end, which he has. Played it nicely. So Maguire looks like he's going to come off the edge of a red and go back into bulk. He is trying to get the white behind the brown and the blue I mentioned earlier in the D, and he's done that mostly. So it looks like Higgins can see reds, but there's no obvious safety shot. Higgins with that very short action that he's got. His cue, the length of his bridge always seems to be much shorter than other players. But he's played that nicely. Just clipped off the top edge of a red and put the white back near the black. So Maguire has got nothing other than to play another return safety off the edge of the reds. Which he does, again trying to get behind that big target of the blue and brown, which again he makes. Although this time I think he's a little bit short. So there's just enough of that red on the left hand side of the bunch for Higgins to get back up the table, but he will be sending reds towards this right hand top pocket, so be interesting to see if anything pops out for Maguire here. And there goes that red, and it's planted it into the bag. Can you believe it? So Higgins, I can't believe he played that. Seeing the replay, there's a massive gap between those balls, and for that red to drop is incredibly fortunate. But what that means is that Higgins can roll up behind the brown, and with the blue there, it means the escape routes are pretty limited. So this will require some thought. Looks like he's going to play one cushion. So he's played Charge and Nestle on the reds, two reds to the right hand side of the table, which he's missed. So that'll go back. Still nothing in it points wise in this game. 13 points to 12 in Higgins' favour. Ball gets replaced by the referee. And now Maguire is going to make attempt 2. Plays the same shot. A little bit harder, but gets the same result pretty much. Doesn't look like it's a free ball, so that'll be going back again. So attempt 3 now from Maguire. Again, gives it a little bit more this time. Gets the angle, but he's hit the reds, but he's not in the way that he intended, and he might have left John a chance of a red into the left-hand bolt pocket. In fact, he's left a red into the left-hand middle pocket, so if this goes in and he gets on the black, which he does, this is another, well, that's another great chance for Higgins in this match. So the reds are scattered slightly, but they are covering each other, so perhaps not as straightforward as it might first appear. Higgins slots in the black, having a red cleaned, I think. So, red into the right hand top pocket, just rolling it in on and off the cushion for black into the left hand top pocket. Or in fact the pink into the left hand middle pocket. He's got 3 reds lining up into the right hand top pocket, so there's choices here. Just deciding which way he wants to go. Settling on the black. Oh no, he changed his mind. No, he's going to play the black. So just pop this on and off the cushion for one of those 3 reds into the opposite top pocket. So he's played nicely. And again, Higgins not hanging about. So you can tell from that it's a good table and there's not a huge amount to think about for the next 3 or 4 shots as he mops up these reds and blacks. So Higgins now 41 points to 12 in front. Still plenty of reds left, so still plenty of work to do. Slots in that red, nicely on the black. Into the left-hand top pocket. Straights it in and plays into an area, so he's got choice of maybe 2 or 3 reds here, likely to favour the one into the left hand top pocket. Has a look at the other one, doesn't like it, comes back round and plays this red into the left hand pocket, just stunning for the black. Again, a nice high black. Got choices here. Might play into the same area that he was in before. So he tried to play off 2 cushions. So now he's got a red into the left hand middle bag. He's going to be coming up. The blue's not on its spot, still next to the brown, so in putting this red he's going to have to go back up to the bulk end, which is suboptimal. So playing for the green. Green off the spot, off the top, on and off the bulk cushion. White coming back down, playing for a red on the edge of a group of 4 reds, and is he on it? Well, he's having a good look. He's very close to being on this. So he's 49 points in front, there's still 67 on. So this game isn't done yet. Out comes the screw and extension and the extended rest. So it looks like he's going to have a pop at this red, even though he's not entirely sure that it goes. He's having another look at it. Another look at it. So, when in fact, from this angle it goes, you can drive a bus through there, so there should be no problem, which it isn't, and finishes nicely on the black in the left hand top pocket. So there's only 59 on, so after this black it'll be 57 in front, so he needs one more red after this for a 4-0 lead. Pops the black in nicely, screws back up the table for another red into the same left hand top pocket, and this will be frame ball. And in it goes. So it's all gone a bit wrong for Maguire in this session, mid-half session rather. He's had chances but not made the most of them. Looks a bit affected by the fact that he's playing his mate John, whereas John looks, well, John looks like John really, just playing the game as he would normally do. So slotting in that red nicely. 2 reds left now. Putting the pink just to disturb those 2, which he does. So Higgins now with 1 red left, already on the frame by a long way. Slots in the blue. The break goes to 83, or it will do after this yellow. Just on the green now off the spot. Higgins positively running around the table now, clearing these up. Playing the brown. Pink, and now the pink into the left hand centre. And that'll be that. Higgins walks off, Maguire walks off. Higgins goes into a 4-0 lead. So mid-sesh now. I will be off for a cup of tea, and I may be back for some more afterwards. So thank you for listening, and hopefully I will listen, or you can listen to me again soon.